This video is going to be a little bit harder for me. It's a little bit different. I mean, not super different. I'm still here talking to you guys, but maybe just a little bit of a different tone. Talking about some of the struggles, kind of anxieties, thoughts that I have been feeling these last couple of weeks. And, you know, as much as I try to stay really positive, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. And I am guessing that some of you can relate if you have been through this surgery or going through this recovery. So I really do want to be totally open and honest about what I am feeling and kind of some of the challenges that are coming up. I hope this doesn't feel like a downer of a video, but I do think it's important to talk about these things. And again, this is something that has been on my mind. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. I've just kind of struggled to figure out how to put it all into words, but I do want to be open about it. And like I said, I think some of you will be able to relate. So I'm just gonna go for it and we will see what happens. For the past several weeks, I've just been feeling really anxious, I guess, kind of uncomfortable with how my face looks and just feeling kind of self-conscious, doing a lot of wondering about the future, about if I'm going to like the final outcome, a lot of sort of what if thinking, of looking back to the past from when I was a kid and I was tongue-tied and nobody knew, or all the orthodontic work that I had done when I was little that I think ultimately didn't really help the situation very much. And just kind of thinking, you know, what if somebody had caught some of these things earlier, or if the thinking around orthodontics had been different back then, and if some of the issues that I had when I was little had been dealt with differently, where might I be now? How might things be different? And of course, I know that it's not a useful mindset to be in. I can't go back and change the past, and wondering, worrying, kind of ruminating and wishing I could have a do-over is not helpful at this point. I can't do that, but it's really hard not to. I think especially in the middle of this recovery process and sort of constantly thinking about it and feeling it and being in it just makes it so hard to not think about it all the time. I feel like everywhere I go now, I'm looking at other people's faces. I'm looking at other people's smiles or their teeth, thinking like, why me? Why did this get so messed up when I was little? Why am I not normal? You know, did I not have the right development to have avoided this surgery, or have, you know, just have things function correctly? And it can be really, really frustrating to feel like this all could have been prevented if some things in the past had been dealt with differently. And then on top of that, because I'm constantly looking and sort of judging or evaluating other people, I feel like they must be doing that to me, that I look weird or that something is different or abnormal about me, even though I know that's not true. I know that people are much more concerned about their own problems and they are not paying attention to me or evaluating me that way. But I think we all do this as humans. We kind of assume that like we are the center of everything and that everybody is judging us. But ultimately, I know that it's my mind, my brain that is going on these things and creating these anxious thoughts and wondering and worrying. And it's not helpful. It's not productive. But like I said, it's just, this is kind of where I'm feeling stuck right now. And it's really hard to kind of get out of this loop of this mental loop of thinking about my face and thinking about what could have been, what might be different now if only something had gone differently when I was a kid. There's this line from a Taylor Swift song that keeps going through my head that's something like, if one thing had been different, would everything be different today? And that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing all the time when I see other people and sort of going, why is that not me? Why am I different and now I'm feeling this way? And a lot of these insecurities for me does have to do, to be honest, with how I look. And I'm not totally comfortable with that right now. And I think that freaks me out a little bit because I keep also wondering, projecting into the future of, am I always going to feel this way? Am I always going to feel like I maybe don't like my face? And not that I regret having the surgery or that I like myself less than I did before or something like that, but just that it still goes back to that sort of wondering like, well, what would I have looked like if all had gone properly from the time I was little? And kind of thinking about that, wondering about that, and comparing to where I am now. And it kind of creates this vicious cycle in my head. I'm not through this healing process yet, and I have a lot more to go before I'm really going to know what my final result is. But these thoughts, just to be honest, these thoughts and anxieties are coming up a lot for me right now. And that's, I just wanted to share that. I don't know if other people are experiencing that same thing. I know I have heard some stories of people struggling with the sort of mental adjustment and the new identity, new physical appearance, and all of those things. I know this is normal and likely something that is not going to be forever. I don't expect that I'm going to live in this headspace forever. This is just kind of a challenge for me at this point. Then there are also a couple other things that are sort of worrying me or making me feel a little bit less comfortable with where everything is at. I still have this discolored tooth that needs to be taken care of. I know that might still be a little while before that is totally resolved. That makes me a little self-conscious as well. And then I have some gum recession on my lower teeth ever since I got the braces on, about a year and a half ago. That started to get a little bit worse. I don't love the way it looks. I'm a little worried that it's going to continue to get worse, or that might, just over time get worse. I'm also thinking about when I get the braces off and how much are my teeth going to try to move back? Like, am I going to have regression? Am I going to have regression from the jaw surgery? I know these things are probably at least likely to happen on some level. How much? I'm not really sure. But that is also, again, just like more of these projecting into the future and worrying about things that I ultimately can't control, or can only, do the best I can to control what I can. But this is, again, just kind of this thought pattern that I'm feeling a little stuck in right now, is the wondering, the worrying, the what ifing, and thinking about this whole process, this whole healing journey. And when all is said and done, like, what if I'm still unhappy with it all? What happens 10 years from now? Like, are my teeth going to try to shift back to where they were? Is my jaw going to try to shift back? Like, I have not seen videos of somebody that had jaw surgery and 10 years later what their experience is like. Right now, the struggle is real. It is just, this is where I'm at right now. This has been on my mind for a while, like I said, and while I do feel like I have a lot of good support and people to talk to about this and process through it all and ask those questions and try to kind of figure out what my game plan is to hopefully prevent some of these longer term things that I might be worried about, or to deal with some of these things. This really is what has been on my mind lately, and I try to be really positive and think about all the benefits that have come from doing this, and to remind myself that it's a really long process, that I'm not that far into it. There's a long way to go, and now is not the time for me to be judging it or evaluating it, but it's just really hard. And if any of you are experiencing the same thing, I guess you're not alone. I know how that feels, and I'm sure there are lots of other people that have done this surgery that can relate, and hopefully this video maybe is helpful for some of you if you are struggling with some of this like mental and emotional challenge around this surgery and recovery as well, that this is all totally normal and it's part of the process, but it is really hard, and I think it's worth acknowledging that. Okay, I have to admit I feel much better having spewed all that out. So again, I hope this is maybe helpful for some people out there, whether you're feeling the same way or if you're getting ready for this surgery, just maybe something to be prepared for, and to know that this is a normal part of the process, to feel challenged by maybe the emotions and sort of the anxieties or worries that can come up throughout this recovery process. In the next couple of weeks, I will be seeing my orthodontist again. We'll probably be getting an update on how much longer I have to have the braces. I also got my blood test shipped off to get evaluated for any titanium sensitivities or allergies. I will be getting those results back probably in another week or so, and very curious to see what that shows. That will really determine my next steps when it comes to deciding if I want to pursue having my plates removed. So that will be my next video update, figuring all that stuff out, where I go from here. As always, I really appreciate you guys watching this video and following along. You can give it a thumbs up if you like it. You can subscribe down below if you want to know when new videos come out, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.